This is the flick setup. So there are 18 of these webbing channels all the way across. 9 on one side of the zipper, and then 9 on the other side. So there's going to be 2 empty ones at the very end, and then the canteen pouch, and then 2 of the 2 mag pouches, 1 2 mag pouch, the IFAC, and the canteen pouch, and then 2 empty slots at the end. So the canteen pouches each require 3 webbing spaces. IFAC requires 2, then 2, 2, 2, and then 3 again. The grenade pouch, which houses the compass, is 1 webbing space above the mag pouches. Now the mag pouches, as opposed to on the tap, these are raised by 1 row. I think part of the reason it was like that on some of the pictures that I saw from the candidates coming from Phase 1, but also I think it's just so that this isn't dangling over the edge at the bottom. So you're going to have 1 free row of webbing below the mag pouches. Mag pouches are going to be 1 level higher than all the rest, and it's just the mag pouches. And then the grenade pouch, like I said, is about halfway between these two. And one row up, it is secured on 2 rows, and the bottom row is of course the one that has the buckle on it. As you can see, this is the type of setup of the flick where there is no buckle in the back. It is donned and doffed via unzipping this, unclipping the buckle, and then unzipping the whole thing. If you were to remove these stiffened adjustment keepers, then the entire middle section can be disconnected from the flick. Right now I can't do that because this is run through this part, but that means that through this channel you get the part of the flick that would normally have the buckles. However, just to make it easier, I already removed the 2 grimlocks and the 2 bits of elastic keepers and the buckle, because basically the buckle would be wrapped up inside this channel and essentially be around this channel. Basically, I don't want this to be wrapped up in there and adding some more, well, first off, a little bit of weight, but also just another rigid thing around this section that should be around my torso. So as long as you hold on to these for safekeeping until equipment turn-in, then you will be fine. Of course, I sewed my name tape to this, and the name tape has to match the camouflage of the equipment. So if this were an OCP flick, which exists, you saw probably the ACU, or technically UCP taps, a UCP name tape would have to match that. Now as for this, how this is connected, it's around, the initial fold is about 2 inches or 3 finger widths wide, and then wrap it around and then kind of slide it upwards so that it's not touching the keeper at the bottom here, and then wrapped around with or secured with a lot of this 1 inch wide, half of the 2 inch tape, just enough times that this won't get like undone from buddy drag crawls or anything of the sort, because that is the only problem in this case that could happen to this. Inside the grenade pouch you have the compass. The compass is secured with a lanyard hitch. I'll explain in a moment. The compass itself you'll label with your name using the subdued duct tape and Sharpie, all caps, black, and covered in clear packing tape to prevent that from rubbing off. Now to demonstrate how I attach this cordage that comes with the compass, one end is tied like so. I use that as the very end. So the attachment principle I operate by is you go down and through the webbing, and then you have this loop, and then you would take the compass, put it through that loop, creating that lanyard hitch, very secure. Wrap the excess around the compass so that none of it sticks out of the pouch when the pouch is closed. And this is a very similar design principle that we operate with on the tie downs for the canteens, mainly so that you could, if you need to, switch it over to any other place. I've seen some SOPs have it where it's attached to this piece of cordage right here, the sewn in 550 cord. Maybe later, but as for now, it is attached to this. So to demonstrate, this piece of cordage is 48 inches of Coyote Brown gutted 550 cord. I chose Coyote Brown because it's a little bit more standardized than saying green, subdued green. There's a million greens. Coyote Brown, all the shades of Coyote Brown are pretty similar looking. So one end has a bowline knot secured with an overhand knot, and the other end is a slip knot. Now, in order to secure this to the flick, you have to first secure this part, the bowline end. And so you would, like with the compass, you drive it down and through the piece of webbing, and then the slip knot end goes through the bowline loop, secured like so to approximate that lanyard hitch, and then the other end will go around the canteen. There's enough of this here to act as a bit of a handle for when you're removing the canteen from the loop. As it is now, the way I have it is you can basically pull on the cordage and then you kind of tighten it like so. And if you want to release it, you just hold that handle bit to loosen that. I might fix the knots so that it's not as tight, because this one's pretty tight, and that will be a pain when we have to don and doff our flicks and or tap quickly. So for the hydration tracker, this is about 16 inches of the gutted Coyote Brown 550 cord, type 3, and it's a bowline knot, so I have it go through this loop this way when I'm tying it around, so that this excess should be sticking out this way, so it's not like in your face or whatever. Not that it matters too much, but in any kind of exercise, you never know what will end up irritating you. So it's about it's an appropriate length, because once you start doing knots, then it'll shorten quite a bit. And like I said, preferably the name tape should be sewn on. However, if you do not have a sewn on name tape, then what you can do is you take the duct tape, have two strips of the 2-inch wide, have them go around the loop twice over, or a few times over, however much you need, with a slight overlap, because if you have it long ways applied to the handle, it'll just look ugly. So having it upwards with a slight overlap might look just a little bit neater. And then you write your name in all caps in black Sharpie, and then cover it over with the clear packing tape, so that, just like with the compass, it doesn't rub off. But preferably long term, we're going to want to sew on name tapes. And lastly, the last bit to secure is the excess webbing nylon strapping at the front. What I have is a 2-inch fold about 3 times down. There are some other SOPs where I've seen it like have it go all the way down, but this I think is fine as long as it's not, you know, too in your face. Also, it allows you to loosen it if you want to. Loosen this in case maybe you're on a land nav course, it's a little too hot, you want to unzip it but keep it secure, the buckle part, then, you know, that's fine. So as it is, that is about a 2-inch fold, or like I said, 3 finger widths wide. My fingers are a bit skinny, so it is perfect. If your fingers are skinny, same idea overall. The initial fold, at least. As you can see, the final fold is a little thicker. And that is the flick. There's another video for the tap if you have a tap. Make sure to look out for that in the chat. See you.